The stars looked cold and distant through the viewport of the warship. Commander Thexvar stood tall, his gray skin reflecting the dim blue lights of the command deck. Behind him, 11 of his best warriors prepared for battle. They wore black armor that covered their long bodies. Each warrior carried weapons that could cut through steel. "This will be easy," Thexvar said to his second officer. "The reports show they are weak. Soft skin, no natural armor. They live on a backwater planet." The Velcran Empire had conquered 47 worlds. Each time, victory came quickly. The warriors of Velcran were the strongest in their region of space. Their bones were dense. Their muscles were powerful. They had never lost a ground battle. "Beginning descent," the pilot announced. 3 drop pods detached from the warship. They fell toward the blue and green planet below. Inside one pod, Thexvar watched the flames dance across the viewport as they entered the atmosphere. His warriors sat silent, ready for glory. They had done this many times before. The pods screamed through the sky over a place called Korea. Below, humans went about their morning. Some drank coffee in small shops. Others rushed to work in tall buildings. None of them knew that alien warriors were falling from the sky. The pods hit the ground hard outside a military base near Seoul. Dust and smoke rose from the impact craters. For a moment, everything was still. Then the pods began to open. Metal doors hissed and folded back. The Velcran warriors stood up inside their pods, ready to charge out and claim their first victory on this primitive world. Thexvar stepped out first. His foot touched the soil of Earth, then his legs collapsed under him. The commander fell forward onto his hands and knees. His armor suddenly felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. His chest compressed. Air rushed into his lungs, but it felt too thick, too rich. His head spun. Around him, he heard crashes and groans as his warriors fell one by one. "Commander!" someone gasped. Thexvar tried to turn his head. The simple movement took all his strength. He saw warrior Velkas flat on his back, his breathing rapid and shallow. Another warrior had made it 3 steps before falling. Some had not even left their pods. "Get up," Thexvar ordered. His voice came out weak. "Stand and fight." None of them could. The world pressed down on them like an invisible hand. Thexvar's arms shook as he tried to push himself up. He managed to lift his chest a few inches before his strength gave out. He fell face first into the dirt. Through his fading vision, he saw vehicles approaching. Human vehicles. Small humans jumped out carrying weapons. Thexvar tried to reach for his gun, but his arm would not move. The humans surrounded the fallen warriors. They were shouting in their strange language. One human, wearing a military uniform with silver bars, knelt near Thexvar. The human's face showed confusion, not fear. He spoke into a radio device. More vehicles arrived. Some had red symbols on the side. "What is happening?" Thexvar managed to whisper in his own language. A human woman arrived. She wore a white coat and carried a medical bag. She moved quickly and easily, as if the crushing gravity did not affect her at all. She knelt beside Thexvar and placed a device against his chest. The device beeped rapidly. "His heart rate is over 300, the woman said in Korean. The military officer, whose name was Daewon, leaned closer. "Are they dying?" Daewon asked. "I think our atmosphere is too much for them," the woman replied. Her name was Hana, and she was a doctor who studied strange life forms. She had never expected to see an alien life form on Earth. "Look at how they breathe. They are struggling. Our oxygen levels must be toxic to them." More humans gathered around. They lifted the Velcran warriors onto stretchers. Even unconscious, the aliens were heavy. It took 4 humans to carry what one Velcran warrior could normally lift alone. But here on Earth, the warriors could not even lift themselves. Thexvar felt hands grab him. The humans were gentle. They placed him on something soft. The world moved around him as they carried him away. His vision blurred. The last thing he saw was the blue sky of Earth, so bright it hurt his eyes. On his home moon, the sky was always dark, even during the day. Inside his failing mind, Thexvar realized the terrible truth. His species had evolved on a moon with weak gravity. All their conquered worlds had been similar places. Space stations, asteroids, small moons. They had never fought on a true planet. They did not know what real gravity felt like. Earth's gravity was crushing them. Earth's thick atmosphere was drowning them. Earth's bright yellow sun was burning them. This world was not weak. It was a death trap. With his last bit of strength, Thexvar activated his emergency communicator. "Abort invasion," he whispered. "Abort. This world will kill us all." In orbit above Earth, the Velcran fleet received the message. The officers on the command deck looked at each other in shock. Admiral Kixnell stared at the planet below. It looked so peaceful, so normal. How could it defeat his best warriors in seconds? "Pull back," the Admiral ordered. "Move to a safe distance." On Earth, the humans transported the dying aliens to a secure facility. Day One watched as doctors worked to save them. Machines beeped and hissed. The aliens were placed in special chambers where the air pressure could be reduced. Slowly, their vital signs stabilized. Hana stood beside Daiwan. "If they came to invade us," she said quietly, "they picked the wrong planet. Did we defeat them?" Daiwan asked. "No," Hana replied. "Earth did. Gravity defeated them. Oxygen defeated them. Everything about our world that we think is normal is deadly to them." In the medical chamber, Thexvar's eyes opened slightly. Through the glass, he saw the humans watching him. They were small, fragile-looking, but they moved easily in conditions that had destroyed his warriors in seconds. These humans lived every day in an environment that would kill most species in the galaxy. For the first time in his life, Commander Thexvar knew fear. Not fear of weapons or ships or armies. Fear of evolution. Fear of a species that had grown strong in hell itself. The humans did not look dangerous, but appearances meant nothing. On this world, every human was a living weapon, forged by gravity and pressure and oxygen into something the galaxy had never seen. The invasion was over before it began. Earth had won without firing a single shot. 3 days passed since the aliens fell from the sky. Inside a secure medical facility deep underground, the Velcran warriors slowly recovered. The humans had built special rooms where the gravity could be reduced using alien technology found in the drop pods. The air pressure was lowered. The oxygen levels were adjusted. In these controlled environments, the aliens could finally breathe without pain. Minsuk sat in a small room separated from the aliens by thick glass. He was a linguist, someone who studied languages. For 3 days, he had been listening to the aliens speak. Their language was full of clicks and hisses, but patterns emerged. Computer programs helped him find meaning in their words. Commander Thexvar lay on a bed designed for his long body. Tubes connected to his arms provided fluids and nutrients. His gray skin had regained some color. His eyes, large and dark, focused on the human sitting beyond the glass. "Can you understand me?" Minsuk asked slowly, speaking through a microphone. Thexvar's mouth moved. Strange sounds came out. The computer analyzed them and displayed text on a screen. "Yes, slowly learning. Why did you come to Earth?" Minsuk asked. The alien was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke again. The computer translated his words. "Conquest, resources, your world appeared weak. We were wrong." Over the next hours, Minsuk learned the truth about the Velcran Empire. The aliens had conquered many worlds, but all of them were low-gravity environments. Moons, asteroids, space stations built by other species. They had never set foot on a true planet like Earth. "Your world is rare," Thexvar explained. His words came faster as he learned to use the translation system. "Most life grows in gentle places. Weak gravity, thin air. Your Earth is extreme. Dangerous." In another part of the facility, Dr. Hana worked with her team. Jiwoo, a young biologist, examined blood samples from the aliens. Kyung, a physicist, studied data about their home moon. Together they built a picture of how different Earth was from most of the galaxy. "Look at this," Jiwoo said, pointing at a screen. "Their blood cells are much larger than ours. They evolved to carry oxygen in a thin atmosphere. Our air is drowning them at the cellular level." Kyung pulled up gravity measurements. Their home moon has gravity about 1/3 of Earth's. When they stand here, their bodies experience 3 times their normal weight. Imagine if we suddenly weighed 3 times more. Our hearts would fail. Our bones would crack, Hana nodded slowly. So Earth is not normal. We are the extreme ones. Exactly, Kyung said. We think of ourselves as average, but we evolved on a high-gravity world with thick atmosphere and abundant oxygen. That makes us incredibly strong by galactic standards. At the Blue House, the presidential residence in Seoul, important people gathered for a meeting. President Taeyang sat at the head of a long table. Military officers in crisp uniforms sat on one side. Diplomats and scientists sat on the other. General Bongwan spoke first. We should eliminate the threat while we can. Destroy their ship in orbit. Show the galaxy that Earth cannot be attacked. No, said Nari, a diplomat with gray hair and sharp eyes. We need information more than we need revenge. These aliens can teach us about the galaxy, about other species, about why Earth was left alone for so long. The debate continued for hours. Finally, President Taeyang made a decision. We will offer medical help. In exchange, they will tell us everything about their empire and the galaxy beyond. Knowledge is our best weapon now. Above Earth, the Velcran fleet waited in orbit. Inside the command ship, officers argued. Sub-Commander Venkra slammed his fist on a console. We cannot let this humiliation stand. Fire on the planet, burn their cities, and prove what? Admiral Kixnell asked calmly. That we can destroy what we cannot conquer? The other empires would mock us. They would say we fear ground combat, do we not? Venkra challenged. Our finest warriors could not take 10 steps on that world. Exactly, the Admiral said. Which means their warriors could destroy entire armies on any low-gravity world. Think about it. Every human down there is stronger than our best soldiers. Their children could probably defeat our warriors. This changes everything. The realization spread through the command deck like ice water. If humans could survive on Earth, they could survive anywhere. No environment in the known galaxy would challenge them. They were naturally adapted for warfare in ways the Velcrons had achieved only through technology and training. Back on Earth, Minseok received an unexpected message from Commander Thexvar. The alien wanted to make a deal. We will tell you everything, Thexvar said through the translator, about the Velcron Empire, about the Galactic Coordination Assembly, about the thousands of species that live in the stars. We will give you star maps and technology. In exchange, you help us survive and let us go home. Minseok brought this offer to his superiors. Soon he sat across from Thexvar again, but this time with Nari the diplomat beside him. Another woman named Yunji, a scientist, took notes on a tablet. Tell us why Earth was left alone, Nari said. You have ships that can cross the stars. You must have known we were here. Thexvar's large eyes blinked slowly. Your world was marked as forbidden in the old maps. The designation was Gravity Hell, a quarantine zone. Most species believed it was empty. Those who knew about humans thought you were too dangerous to contact. Dangerous? Yunji asked. We have no spaceships. No weapons that can reach the stars. How are we dangerous? You do not understand, Thexvar said. He shifted on his bed, even that small movement causing him pain in the reduced gravity. In the galaxy, wars are fought by machines and ships. Biological beings cannot survive combat. We are too fragile. But you are different. You live in constant combat with your own world. Gravity attacks you every moment. Your atmosphere pressures you. Your sun burns you, and you thrive. The humans looked at each other. They had never thought of life on Earth as combat. It was just normal. Your species, Thexvar continued, could walk through any battlefield in the galaxy. Our weapons would hurt you, yes. But your environment already hurts you more every single day. You heal from injuries that would kill most species. You have endurance we cannot imagine. You are persistence predators, yes? Minseok nodded. Our ancestors hunted by chasing animals until they collapsed from exhaustion. No species in the galaxy hunts that way, Thexvar said. It requires a body that can endure for hours, days. Most species tire in minutes. Your bodies are machines built for endless war. That is why Earth was quarantined. Not to protect you, to protect everyone else from you. The room fell silent. Outside, the sun was setting over Seoul. Humans walked the streets, laughing and talking. Children played in parks. Old people exercised in public squares. None of them knew that they were considered weapons by the galaxy beyond their sky. Nari spoke carefully. We do not want to be feared. We want to learn, to explore, to meet other species. Then you must be careful, Thexvar warned. When the galaxy learns that Earth is active, that humans are ready to leave their world, there will be fear. Some will want friendship. Others will want to destroy you before you become a threat. You must prepare for both. Over the following weeks, the aliens shared their knowledge. They taught humans about faster-than-light travel, about galactic politics, about the species that ruled different regions of space. They explained that the Velcran Empire was only medium-sized. There were far larger and more powerful civilizations out there. And if the Velcrons could not survive on Earth, none of those other species could either. Humanity was alone in their ability to thrive in such extreme conditions. They were the Death Worlders, the gravity survivors, the ones who lived in hell and called it home. Captain Hyunwoo stood at attention in the military training facility. Behind him, 20 soldiers waited in formation. They wore standard combat gear and carried heavy backpacks. In front of them, a camera recorded everything. The video signal was being sent to the Velcran ship in orbit. "We will now demonstrate basic infantry training," Hyun-woo said to the camera. He spoke in Korean, and a computer translated his words into the Velcran language. "This is what our soldiers do every day." He turned to his troops. "Begin the mountain run." The soldiers started jogging up a steep trail behind the base. Each backpack weighed 40 kilograms. The trail wound up the mountainside for 5 kilometers. To the soldiers, this was routine. They had done this exercise hundreds of times. On the Velcran ship, officers gathered around a screen to watch. Admiral Kixnall stood in the center, his face unreadable. As the humans jogged up the mountain, the aliens grew very quiet. "They are carrying what?" Sub-Commander Venkra asked. 40 kilograms each, an analyst replied. "In their gravity, which is 3 times ours. That means each soldier is effectively carrying 120 kilograms in our terms," Venkra calculated. His voice was barely a whisper. While running up a mountain, the video continued. The humans ran for 30 minutes without stopping. Some were breathing hard, but none collapsed. None even looked like they were in serious difficulty. This was training, not torture. "Turn it off," Admiral Kixnall said quietly. "I have seen enough." Back on Earth, Dr. Hana compiled her research. She sat in her office with papers and data screens spread across her desk. Jiwoo and Kyung sat across from her, equally exhausted from weeks of constant work. "I have the complete analysis," Hana announced. She pulled up a presentation on the large screen. "Here is what makes humans special compared to other species in the galaxy." The first slide showed human muscle structure. "We have extremely dense muscles adapted to constant gravity resistance. Every movement we make is strength training by galactic standards. A human child has more muscle mass than most adult aliens." The next slide showed the human skeleton. "Our bones are incredibly thick and strong. They have to be to support our weight in high gravity. Most alien species have bones more like bird bones, light and hollow. Ours are like steel rods," Jiwoo added. "And our healing ability. Most species heal slowly because their environments are gentle. There is no pressure for fast healing. But humans evolved where injuries were common. Broken bones, torn muscles, deep cuts. Our bodies learned to repair damage quickly." Kyung pulled up data about oxygen. "This is the really interesting part. Earth's atmosphere is 21% oxygen. Most planets are less than 10%. Our cells are supercharged by comparison. We can sustain intense activity for hours. Most aliens can barely manage minutes." "There is more," Hana said. "Humans are persistence predators. We evolved to chase prey for hours or even days until it collapsed. No other species in the known galaxy has this ability. They are all ambush predators or they use tools from the start. But we can just keep going, and going, and going." In a government building downtown, diplomat Nari met with Min Seok and a young woman named Yoonji. They sat around a small table covered with alien data files. Commander Thexavar had shared information about the galaxy's political structure. "Look at this," Yoonji said, pointing at a document. "The Velcran Empire has conquered 47 territories. They are considered a strong military power, but they rank only 18th in the galactic power rankings." "Who is first?" Nari asked. "The Confederation of Tal," Minsuk read. "They control 300 systems. Their military is mostly automated drones because biological soldiers cannot survive real combat." Nari leaned back in her chair. "So the entire galaxy fights wars with machines because living beings are too fragile." "Except us," Yoonji said. "We are not fragile. We are the opposite." The implications were staggering. If humanity entered the galactic stage, they would not be weak newcomers. They would be something the galaxy had never seen before. A species that could fight without machines. Soldiers who could survive environments that would kill anyone else. At the Blue House, President Taiyang made a decision. "We will show the galaxy what normal life on Earth looks like. No tricks, no military demonstrations, just everyday life." A week later, cameras were set up around Seoul. The broadcast was sent to the Velcran ship with permission to share it with other species. Humans had no idea their simple activities would horrify the watchers. The video showed a children's playground. Kids ran and jumped and climbed. They fell and got back up. They chased each other for hours without rest. To the aliens watching, this looked impossible. Children, juveniles, performing athletic feats that would injure trained warriors. The next scene showed a construction site. Workers lifted heavy materials. They climbed tall scaffolding without fear. They worked for 8 hours in the heat and sun. No special equipment, no enhanced suits, just humans doing their jobs. Then the video showed elderly people, men and women in their 70s and 80s exercising in a park. They did push-ups and pull-ups. They jogged. They stretched and moved with strength that seemed impossible for being so old. On the Velcran ship, the officers watched in silence. Finally, Admiral Kixnell spoke. "We did not attempt to invade a civilization. We attempted to invade a planet of living weapons." Subcommander Venkra looked pale. "Their elderly are stronger than our soldiers. Their children could defeat our warriors. What are the adults capable of? We may never know," the Admiral said. "And I am grateful for that." Ambassador So-young arrived from the United Nations. She brought representatives from many countries. They met with the Korean government to discuss Earth's future. The debate was intense. "We cannot hide anymore," said one ambassador. "The galaxy knows we exist. We must decide how to present ourselves." "As peaceful explorers," another suggested. "As potential trading partners," said a third. So-young listened to them all. Then she spoke. "We must be honest. We are strong. The galaxy will see that whether we admit it or not. But strength without wisdom is dangerous. We must show them that we understand the responsibility that comes with power." Chaewon, a young linguist, worked with Junho, a technology specialist. They studied the Velcran language and technology files. Their job was to learn how to communicate with other species and how to build basic spacecraft. "This is fascinating," Chaewon said, reading a file about galactic communication protocols. "There are over 10,000 recognized languages in the galaxy, but there is a common trade language that everyone learns." "Can you learn it?" Junho asked. "I can try," Chaewon replied. "But look at this warning in the file. It says humans should use electronic translators when speaking to most species. Our vocal cords can produce sounds that cause pain to many aliens. Our voices are too loud, too deep, too powerful. Even our voices are weapons," Junho muttered. In the medical facility, Commander Thexavar was finally strong enough to walk. He moved slowly in the reduced gravity chamber, building his strength. Lieutenant Daewon stood outside the chamber watching through the glass. "You are preparing to leave," Daewon observed. "Yes," Thexavar replied through the translator. "Your people have been kind. You saved our lives when you could have let us die. That is not something I expected from warriors." "We are not just warriors," Daewon said. "We are human. We have wars, yes, but we also have compassion. We believe the strong should protect the weak, not destroy them." "That philosophy will serve you well in the galaxy," Thexavar said. "Many species are weak. They need protection. They need someone who can stand between them and danger. Perhaps that someone is you." Daewon considered this. "Is that what you see humanity becoming? Protectors?" "I see humanity becoming whatever it chooses to be," Thexavar answered. "You have the power to conquer. You have the strength to destroy. But you also have the wisdom to choose a different path. That is what makes you truly dangerous. Not your muscles or your endurance. Your choices." The modified shuttle lifted from Earth with extreme care. Inside, 12 Velcran warriors lay in special pods filled with low-gravity gel. Their bodies were still weak from weeks on Earth's surface. Commander Thexavar watched through a small window as the blue planet fell away below them. Beautiful and deadly, he thought. Lieutenant Daewon stood at the launch site, watching the shuttle climb into the sky. Beside him, Dr. Hana held a tablet with medical data. "Will they survive the journey home?" Daewon asked. "Probably," Hana replied. "Their bodies are healing now that they are in low gravity again, but they will never forget what happened here. None of them will." "Good," Daewon said quietly. "Let them tell their empire what Earth is really like." As the Velcran shuttle docked, with its mothership, humans across Earth worked on the massive amount of information the aliens had left behind. In a secure government facility, Hajun and Yuna led teams of engineers and scientists. They studied alien star charts and technology blueprints. "Look at this engine design," Hajun said, pulling up a holographic display. "It bends space to achieve faster-than-light travel. The math is incredibly complex, but I think we can understand it." Yuna focused on the communication systems. They use quantum entanglement for instant communication across vast distances. We have the theory, but they have the practical application. With this knowledge, we could build our own systems within years instead of decades. The data revealed a galaxy far more complex than humans had imagined. Thousands of intelligent species, hundreds of political entities, trade networks spanning countless light years, and Earth had been sitting in the middle of it all, completely isolated. Why did they leave us alone for so long? Yuna wondered aloud. Hajun pulled up an old document from the Velcran files. Listen to this. It is from a survey done 3,000 years ago. Planet designation, Death World Class 7. Gravity, extreme. Atmosphere, toxic levels of oxygen. Recommendation, quarantine zone. Any species attempting to land will face certain death. They thought our planet would kill anyone who came here, Yuna said. They were right. In universities across the world, debates raged about humanity's future. Professor Insu stood before a crowded auditorium at Seoul National University. Students and faculty filled every seat. We should remain hidden, Insu argued. The galaxy fears us. Fear breeds hatred. Hatred breeds violence. If we reveal ourselves fully, we may face attacks from species that see us as a threat. A student raised her hand. But Professor, we are already revealed. The Velcrans know about us. They will tell others. Exactly why we must be careful, Insu countered. In the back of the room, Minji stood up. She was an economics professor. With respect, Professor Insu, isolation is no longer possible. The galaxy knows we exist. The question now is how we engage with them, and I believe we have much to offer. Medical technology, engineering solutions, resources. The galaxy needs what Earth can provide. Outside the university, young people gathered. Dongwu led a protest demanding government transparency. Hundreds of students held signs and chanted. "Tell us the truth," they shouted. "We deserve to know about the galaxy." The government was listening. In secret meetings, officials debated how much to tell the public. Finally, President Taeyang made an announcement. He appeared on television and the internet, speaking to the entire nation and the world. "My fellow humans," he began. 3 months ago, aliens arrived on Earth. They came to conquer us. They failed. Not because we fought them, but because our world itself defeated them. We have learned that we are unique in the galaxy. Our planet made us strong in ways other species cannot match. Now the galaxy knows we exist. We must decide together what kind of neighbors we want to be. The speech caused a sensation. Around the world, people celebrated and worried in equal measure. Humanity was not alone in the universe. But the universe was dangerous, and Earth's strength might make them targets. Far from Earth, in a massive space station orbiting a distant star, the Galactic Coordination Assembly met. Thousands of representatives from hundreds of species gathered in a great hall. The architecture was beautiful, designed for low gravity and gentle creatures. Councillor Vexnus of the Tree species called the session to order. His body was translucent and delicate, like crystal. "We are here to discuss the Earth situation," he announced. His voice was transmitted through speakers, as his actual voice was too soft to hear. The Velcron ambassador stood to speak. His name was Krell, and he had been given full reports from Commander Thexvar. "The humans are not what we believed. They are far more dangerous. But they have also shown mercy. They saved my warriors when they could have let them die." "Dangerous beings should be contained," growled Tholkax, a representative from the Krenax Accord. His species was one of the more militaristic in the galaxy. "We should enforce the quarantine, keep them on their death world." "And if they refuse?" asked another representative. "Then we use force," Tholkax said. Vexnus held up a delicate hand. "Force against Earth would be difficult. Our analysis shows that their world is unconquerable by conventional means. We would need to attack from space, destroying them from orbit. Is that the message we want to send? That we destroy what we cannot control?" The assembly erupted in debate. Some species wanted friendship with Earth. Others wanted isolation. A few wanted destruction. The session lasted for days. On Earth, military strategist Seung-jae worked with a team to prepare for any outcome. He met with world leaders in a secure bunker. "We must assume the worst," he said. "Some species in the galaxy will see us as a threat. We need defenses." "What kind of defenses?" asked a general. "Space-based primarily," Seung-jae explained. "We cannot defend against weapons fired from orbit using ground forces alone. We need our own ships, our own satellites, our own presence in space." Yuna, a diplomat, objected. "That will make us look aggressive, like we are preparing for war." "We are preparing for survival," Seung-jae countered. "There is a difference. President Taeyang made the decision. We will build defenses, but we will also reach out in peace. Yuna, you will lead a diplomatic team. Seung-jae, you will coordinate with military forces worldwide. We must be ready for both peace and war." Secretly, nations around the world began accelerating their space programs. Old rivalries were put aside. If Earth was going to face the galaxy, they would face it together. Astronaut Jaemin and pilot Somin were selected for a special program. They would be the first humans to train on spacecraft that combined human and alien technology. The ships were being built in secret facilities, using knowledge from the Velcron database. "This is incredible," Jaemin said, sitting in the pilot's seat of a prototype ship. "The controls are intuitive, designed for creatures with much weaker bodies than ours. We can handle far more G-forces than they ever could." Salman checked the navigation systems. "If we can build enough of these, we could explore nearby star systems. Maybe even make contact with other species on our own terms." Engineer Bora led the construction teams. She was brilliant and tireless, working 18-hour days to make the new ships a reality. "We are adapting alien technology to human standards," she explained to visitors. "Everything has to be reinforced. Their materials are designed for low-stress environments. Ours need to withstand Earth-level forces." 6 months after the failed invasion, Earth received a message from space. It appeared simultaneously on every radio telescope and deep space monitoring station. The message was in the common galactic trade language, but human computers had learned to translate it. "Greetings to the humans of Earth," the message began. "You are invited to send representatives to the Galactic Coordination Assembly. Your world has been discovered and must now be integrated into the galactic community. This is not optional. Failure to comply will result in enforcement actions." Translator Minho worked with xenoanthropologist Hee-jin to analyze every word of the message. "It is both an invitation and a threat," Minho said. "They want us to come, but they are also warning us what happens if we refuse." "What do you think enforcement actions means?" Hee-jin asked. "Nothing good," Minho replied. The government made its decision quickly. Earth would send representatives, but they would go prepared and informed. A crew was selected carefully. Captain Sung-hoon, a veteran pilot. Diplomat Yuna to lead negotiations. Scientist Dr. Hana to provide expertise. Soldier Lieutenant Dae-won to ensure security. And a support team including Hajun, Chae-won, and Medical Officer Ji-won. The ship they would travel on was called the New Dawn. It was humanity's first true starship, built using both human engineering and alien principles. It could travel faster than light. It could survive the void of space. And it was strong enough to carry humans, the galaxy's unexpected warriors, to meet their destiny among the stars. The New Dawn lifted from Earth on a clear morning. Thousands of people gathered to watch the launch. The ship was beautiful, a blend of human and alien design. Silver metal reflected the sunlight as it climbed higher and higher until it was just a bright point in the sky. Inside the ship, Captain Sung-hoon sat in the command chair. Around him, his crew worked at their stations. Yuna reviewed diplomatic protocols. Dr. Hana studied medical data about alien species they might meet. Lieutenant Dae-won checked security systems. In the engineering section, Hajun monitored the engines. Linguist Chae-won practiced common trade phrases. Medical Officer Ji-won prepared the medical bay. "Engaging faster-than-light drive," Sung-hoon announced. The ship hummed with power. Space outside the windows began to twist and bend. Then in an instant, Earth disappeared behind them. They were traveling faster than light, heading toward the galactic capital. The journey would take 2 months. During those months, the crew learned what it meant to be human in a galaxy designed for fragile beings. They stopped at a trading station to resupply. The station orbited a gas giant and served as a hub for merchants from dozens of species. "Remember," Una said as they prepared to board the station, "we must wear gravity dampeners. If we move at full strength, we could accidentally hurt someone." The crew put on special belts that made them feel heavier. The effect was strange, like moving through water. They walked slowly and carefully through the station's corridors. Even with dampeners, humans looked like giants. Alien merchants stepped aside as they passed. Small creatures with multiple eyes stared from doorways. A group of insect-like beings skittered away quickly. At a market stall, Chaewon tried to buy supplies. The merchant, a blue-skinned being with 4 arms, trembled as she approached. "Please do not hurt me," the merchant whispered in the trade language. "I just want to buy food," Chaewon said softly. She moved very slowly, trying not to frighten the alien. "I have credits." The merchant reluctantly sold her supplies, but never stopped shaking. As Chaewon walked away, she heard the merchant telling others, "A Death Worlder was here. I survived contact with a Death Worlder." Back on the ship, the crew discussed what they had experienced. "They are terrified of us," Daewon said. "Just our presence frightens them. Can you blame them?" Dr. Hana asked. "Imagine if beings 3 times stronger than us walked among us. Even their children could overpower our soldiers. That is what we are to them." Jiwon looked sad. "We came seeking friendship, but they see us as monsters." "Then we must show them we are not monsters," Una said firmly. "Through our actions, not our words." Finally, after 2 months of travel, the new dawn approached the galactic capital. The station was enormous, larger than most moons. It orbited a beautiful gas giant with rainbow-colored clouds. Ships from thousands of species came and went like insects around a hive. "Receiving docking instructions," Hajun reported. "They are assigning us a special berth, away from the main population areas." "Of course they are," Sung-hoon muttered. "They want us isolated." The ship docked smoothly. The crew prepared to disembark. They wore their gravity dampeners and formal clothes. They looked professional and calm, even though inside they were nervous. The Galactic Coordination Assembly building was beautiful. Tall towers reached toward the sky. Gardens filled with strange plants surrounded elegant walkways. But everything was built for low gravity. The humans had to move carefully, their dampeners working hard to keep them from accidentally damaging things. Inside the Great Hall, thousands of representatives waited. The humans walked down a long aisle toward the center. Eyes followed them from every direction. Some aliens looked curious. Others looked afraid. A few looked hostile. Counselor Vexnus spoke first. His translucent body caught the light beautifully. "Humans of Earth, you have been brought before this assembly to answer questions about your world and your intentions." Una stepped forward. Cultural analyst Jimin had helped her prepare for this moment. She bowed respectfully. "We are honored to be here. We seek only knowledge and peaceful relations with all species." "Your world is classified as a death world," Vexnus continued. "You are classified as Category 9 environmental extremophils. This means you are dangerous by your very nature. How can we trust beings who live in conditions that would kill most of us within minutes?" Una chose her words carefully. "We understand your fear. We are different from you, stronger in some ways. But strength does not mean cruelty. On Earth, we have a saying, 'With great power comes great responsibility.' We believe the strong should protect the weak, not dominate them." A large alien with thick armor stood up. This was Senator Tholkax of the Krenax Accord. "Pretty words. But how do we know you speak truth? Your warriors defeated the Velkran elite without even fighting. What stops you from conquering the galaxy?" "Our values," Una replied. "Our humanity." "Prove it," Tholkax demanded. Captain Sung-hoon stepped forward. He had discussed this moment with his crew. They had agreed on a bold approach. "I will prove it," he said. "Right now." Sung-hoon reached up and removed his gravity dampener belt. Immediately gasps filled the hall. Security forces moved forward, weapons ready. Sung-hoon raised his hands peacefully. Then he dropped to the floor and began doing push-ups. The hall fell silent. Everyone watched as the human moved easily in what they considered extreme gravity. Up and down, 50 times. Then he stood and jogged in place. Then he did jumping jacks, simple exercises. But to the aliens watching, it looked like a demonstration of impossible strength. This is what humans do for basic fitness, Sung Hoon explained, barely breathing hard. We do not show you this to threaten you. We show you this so you understand what we are. We are strong. We cannot change that, but we can choose how we use our strength. He pulled out a tablet and projected videos on the large screens around the hall. Videos from Earth, human doctors performing delicate surgeries, human engineers building hospitals in disaster zones, human rescue workers saving people from collapsed buildings, human teachers helping children learn, human volunteers feeding the hungry. Yes, we are strong, Sung Hoon said, but we use our strength to help, to build, to heal. That is what humanity chooses to do. The hall remained quiet. Then an elderly alien stood up slowly. This was Elder Kixtal of the Preservers, an ancient species that rarely spoke. I know the truth about Earth, Kixtal said in a voice like wind through leaves. Millions of years ago, my ancestors seeded life across the galaxy. We adapted species to match their worlds. Earth was our greatest experiment, a high-gravity, oxygen-rich world. We wanted to see what kind of life would evolve there. Then we lost track of the project. We forgot about it. Until now. Kixtal moved closer to the humans, his ancient eyes studying them. You are the result of our experiment. Beings engineered by evolution to survive the harshest conditions. We did not know if intelligent life would arise on such a world. But you did, and you became exactly what we hoped for. Strong, yes, but also compassionate, curious, brave. The elder turned to address the assembly. I propose we welcome humanity, not as threats, not as weapons, but as partners. The galaxy needs beings who can go where others cannot, who can lift what others cannot lift, who can endure what others cannot endure. Humanity can be our rescue workers, our emergency responders, our protectors. Nari, watching from Earth via live feed, smiled. This was the solution they had hoped for. The Galactic Assembly debated for hours. Finally, they voted. It was close, but the result was clear. Earth would be granted provisional membership. Humans could join the galactic community under specific conditions. They would help other species in emergencies. They would share their medical knowledge. They would provide defense against threats. In exchange, they would receive technology, trade, and knowledge. Yuna accepted the terms on behalf of Earth. We agree to these conditions. Humanity will prove itself through service, not conquest. The New Dawn returned to Earth carrying news of humanity's new role in the galaxy. When they landed, crowds cheered. The world celebrated. They were no longer alone. They were part of something greater. 5 years passed. Earth changed in amazing ways. Cities reached higher, built with materials from other worlds. Humans worked on stations across the galaxy, helping species in need. When disaster struck, human rescue teams arrived first, strong enough to lift debris and work in dangerous conditions that would kill others. Young people like pilot trainee Sewa dreamed of exploring new worlds. Medical student Tai Hyun studied xenobiology, learning to treat dozens of alien species. Earth had become a hub of galactic culture, a place where different beings came to trade and learn. The Velkrons became unlikely allies. Their warriors trained with humans in low-gravity environments, learning tactics they could actually use. Commander Thexvar became an ambassador, working to build bridges between his people and Earth. On a cool evening in Seoul, Thexvar stood with Colonel Daewon at Namsan Tower. They looked out over the city lights. Above them, ships from many worlds came and went, visible as bright points moving across the sky. When we came to conquer you, Thexvar said, I thought we were the strong ones. I was wrong. You are the strong ones, but you use your strength differently than we ever did. Daewon nodded. Strength means nothing if you do not use it wisely.